Hi there, KT here. Talking about the Lantern, a mindfulness practice that's over on my YouTube channel, Growing Knowing. Growing Knowing is really designed to help you with early stages of your experience, your journey into self, your spiritual journey, however you're categorizing it and classifying it in these early days, to give you some best practices to help bolster you and things that I learned. I've been inspired to kind of consolidate them and start to share some of my learnings and my best practices that help me arrive here. I've been on this journey about 3 years now, and profound things have happened in my life. And there's more details on who I am and what I've done over on my intro. And so we're going to do another drop. I'm inspired, and today I am inspired to talk a little bit about the importance of starting to loosen the grip of the past. Let's see if we can get down there and start to loosen those knots, so that we can start to get the waters chummed, start stirring up the gunk, because that's where the gunk is buried deep down in those caves. And we've been preparing to go in those caves here for a few drops now. And so I want to kind of reinforce a little bit of my journey with going through some of the things with the past and hoping that, my hope that maybe I didn't have to go through most of it, and how I kind of proceeded and how I gained resilience and trust in the process. But first, I want to kind of tick off those steps that I'm suggesting, these activities that I'm suggesting that will anchor you, provide you comfort, bolster you. 5 steps to a daily practice. First is wake up with gratitude. Find something in your life that's working and focus on that. And if you're interested in understanding kind of the power of positive thinking or how thoughts have energy, I welcome you. Do a little bit of a deep dive on your own and start to get some source material that resonates for you, to really understand and get a framework around why gratitude can really be a bit of a game changer when we start our day with it. Then meditation. So here's a suggestion. Meditation's tricky. It's very tricky. Our minds are active. It takes a lot. And so I am suggesting that maybe you sit down with the intention of just relaxing yourself. I'm just going to take a few minutes, take a few deep breaths and relax myself. And as you start to take those deep breaths, whether you're doing the box breathing or just kind of your regular cadence of breathing, start to think, relax, and put your hands kind of on your chest, your upper body, and just kind of think, relax, take those deep breaths, and just think, let that go. Let that go. And see if you can, with the objective of just relaxing your nervous system a little bit, start to see a little bit of the benefits of that, the power of deep breath, the power of really allowing your nervous system to take a time out and a reset. And let that kind of maybe be a teaser for some of the future benefits of meditation. Even if you can give yourself 5 minutes to hit a reset, I think that would provide you a ton of, it would be very beneficial. And then you'll also be able to see, am I really operating that wound up? I couldn't believe how I was existing. Once I started to wind down and relax, even now after 3 years, I still feel there's tension in my system. We're getting there. We're loosening it up, and I've made a ton of progress in settling things down. But it just went to show me really how tightly wound I was and how fight or flight I was moving through the world every day, sadly. But the good news is now I'm starting to work through it, and the quality of my life is improving in leaps and bounds, day to day, moment to moment, moment to moment. Next is journaling. Really, what am I afraid of? That just popped into my head. I think that a good journal prompt is, what am I afraid of? And if you can just kind of get down with writing down everything that pops into your mind, looking foolish, that I am unworthy, that I will never be happy, whatever it is. Let's start there, because I think that as we start to loosen the grip of the past, we can use our journal prompts to kind of point to us to where on our scavenger map we're supposed to go first. What cave should we start with? And journaling can kind of help bring some of that stuff up, kind of release that barrier, and then you'll find, you'll feel things chumming and stirring. And so what am I afraid of? I suggest we start there. Then we move around outside. I just recorded a grounding for Insta that I'm going to post, the healing benefits of nature, the majesty of our bodies. The fact that we exist at all is absolutely miraculous. And these vessels that we have do incredible things. And so we should celebrate them, try and strengthen them, try and keep them fed with nourishing things, and most importantly, move around outside. Nature's bounty is abundant. And there are so many things that happen out there that help us process through the things that we're experiencing in this life, that have something as free and effective and beautiful as that is out there. Highly recommend that you start getting outside, get your bare feet on the earth, take some deep breath, and start moving around, and really strengthening your body and appreciating it. And then last but not least, self-care. So loosening the grip of the past. Why? When I first started, I'm like, do I have really? Can we just agree it was gnarly and nasty and I don't want to? No, we can't agree on that, because that's the treasure trove. It's a boneyard at first, and then it soon becomes very liberating to walk that path through your past that helps you identify and resolve and forgive. You have to forgive yourself. So I think the thing that I would recommend is early days. I was thinking that I was going to be going back in my past to take a look at what everybody had done to me. Remember, I was kind of a little bit of a victim mindset, when you start. And so that's why I asked you guys to write down your story, and let's see what that narrative is. And then maybe if we can flip the script of things happen for me and not to me, we can get out of victim. But initially, a little bit of the victim stuff. And I was thinking, now, how am I going to get back in there and forgive all those people? How's that even going to happen? I can't see my way through that. And leaning in is empowering and liberating. As soon as you decide that you're willing to proceed with just the next couple of steps of your journey, let's not get crazy and get caught up with all that out there and afraid of what we think is going to happen when we step into these caves. Just the next couple of steps. Journal, go there, start there. Pay attention to what you're feeling and what is starting to come up, and allow it to start to come up. Okay? But one of the things that I was worried about was, how am I going to forgive some of them back there for doing what they did or didn't do? And so the benefit of experience and the hindsight and the whole purpose of this, kind of like a letter that I would write to myself. If I could write a letter right now to myself 3 years ago, these are the things that I would tell myself. Okay? As you start to go into your past, maybe first you start with just agreeing that you're going to focus on your side of the street with this stuff. You're going to try to get to the point where you can give yourself the grace that you need to allow that things happen back there, conduct unbecoming, that we just have to come to terms with. And I talked a little bit, I think it was in drop 7, about our beliefs are formed by the age of 7. And if we think about the environment that 7-year-old of us was in, and these beliefs that we've got and the thoughts that we're firing, all of this stuff can be a bit of a dust cloud when it comes to how challenging it's really going to be to embark. Okay? Fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. Take that first step, and that's what you realize. And so if you can get down with, I'm just going to get in there and start to move through, coming to terms with what I did, my part in it. And you will have the experiences that you're intended. There will be a cadence that unfolds for you as you move through your past. And so loosening the grip of the past is essential for us to continue, because while the boneyard is unpleasant, the treasures, the treasures, the cave, the treasures you seek are in the cave you fear to enter. So we've got to walk through this stuff. And when you agree to do so, you will find that you are not confronted with anything you can't handle. I will say that with absolute assuredness and certainty, that there is not a chance that you will step into something that deters you from this path. The whole purpose is to help you stay on your path. There is nothing that will be presented to you that you are not willing or capable of managing or capable of understanding. You'll just require patience and a lot of grace for yourself.
And what I found is that I surge with emotion. That's where I'm at in this. It's just, and it's getting bigger. So, so I think this is going to be more of commonplace because it's coming in hot and heavy, intense, maybe. Intense is a better word. Okay, so you won't be presented with anything you're not capable of handling. The other thing that I found really interesting is that it's not a one and done going through these experiences. You know, we've all got more than a handful of core memories that are incredibly unpleasant. Okay. And the hairier that core memory, the more times it's going to take for you to revisit it, because you won't be able to do all of it right there. And these intense experiences that we had that have shaped the way we move through this world have complexity in them that requires us to learn a multitude of lessons. Sometimes they're encapsulated in one big mess, and sometimes they come in smaller doses. And so my point in telling you this is there were several incidences back there that really terrified me. But what I found is that there was a lesson in the top layer, and I retreat and process and find joy and move through and expand and grow, release those parts of that trauma that are available to me at that point. And then I find myself going back again, and it's the next level. And we process through that. And so just because there's mountains to climb, there's nasty stuff, you will not have to tackle it all at once. And the more you lean in, and the more you find your capabilities in processing through this, what you'll find is that it builds your resolve. And you start to say, okay, oh, so we're going to do this now? Body starts pushing stuff up. You feel, and what it feels like to me is, do you know how when it feels like you're going to cry, that kind of bubbles up, that wells up, where you, and I just let it ride. I bring it up and I say, okay, what's going on? What is this? And I ask my body, I go to my body, what is this? What are we worried about? Failure. This is a real time failure, that this isn't going to work and that we'll be ridiculed. Okay, what makes us believe in that? What makes us feel that? And I immediately take it to an episode where I was bullied in third grade. Immediately take it to an episode where I was bullied in third grade. And so I'm allowed to process through that. I'm not allowed. I bring myself and allow myself to process through that. I give myself permission. And I allow myself to move through that. And I think about that little girl sitting in that sandbox on that first day of school. And I sit with her. And I say, I know it's hard. And I know you're scared. And I know it doesn't feel very good. But I want to let you know it gets better. And we make it through because of you. And I visualize, I put my arm around her. And I pull her in close. And I feel her just now lean into me. This may be a bit a bridge too far for some of you, right? Like this may be a bit too off-putting because of the authenticity of these moments, but it is time for us to start to transition into this so that as you progress through your journey, assuming you start at drop 1, as we move through that, assuming you start at drop 1, by the time that we get here, you will have started to move through these things. You will have started to churn the waters. And so the resolve builds. You don't have to do it all at once. It's a process. I'm also prompted to share that we store these traumas within our physical body. And more often than not, they're stored in our organs and our vital organs. And if untreated and unresolved, can certainly create disease and cause complications, create health concerns, discomfort, wherein allowing us to move through these things and process these things clears that stuck energy, and we begin to open up and we start to clear our vessel. We start to remove those densities from our organs, allowing them to function properly. We start to clear out and make room for higher vibrational emotions. Clear out the shame. I am coming, I think, out of kind of some dark stuff that was happening over the holidays within me around loneliness and my beliefs around that have been very liberating for me. I've recently made some good connections with friends and family, and so I'm bolstered again. I don't feel as kind of isolated. And I am also of the understanding that that isolation was intentional. The universe has a way, and you'll find that as you continue to move through and start loosening the grip of the past, that things will start kind of falling off and providing you with a little bit more space to work through this stuff. It will be amazing. And I recommend that you send gratitude for that too. As you start to realize that the universe is working in your favor and taking things from your path that would normally or otherwise be a problem for you, see it as a gift, even though you don't completely understand it and you may be having some kind of anxiety around that. Just allow the universe to demonstrate to you the beauty and the majesty that you've embarked on, because it is pretty powerful. So I'm allowing for that. I'm looking forward to a little bit more sunshine in our days ahead. It's been pretty overcast as of late, and continuing. I'm on a quest to strengthen my body. So I've been doing a better job with diet. I've been doing my exercising and my walking, but now I think I'm on a campaign of strengthening, and so that's what I'm going to be doing. So I welcome you to identify. Just do that which requires doing. Do that which requires doing, and do not worry about how or when or where or who. Just worry about your next couple of steps and watch the beauty build. All right, friends, keep going. We're building. I can feel it. We're getting stronger. This is going to be an amazing community as we continue to come together and leverage our strengths and leverage our gifts and help each other see the light. There will be a lot of strength in these numbers, and I appreciate you for being here. Be well.